This is a perfect build to speed farm all your maps thanks to Blink, one-shotting everything in your way and melt those pinnacle bosses in a blink of an eye. This build is very easy to use, it's not complex, we have 3 skills to use: Ice Strike, Tempest Belt and Charge Soft, and that's basically it. That's everything that you need to clear our maps and to fight those pinnacle bosses. Don't forget to subscribe. Hello guys, my name is Will and welcome to one more video about Path of Exile 2. This time we are talking about another Invoker build I did with some differences. This one, it's much easier to use, the damage is much higher, of course it requires some better gear, some better uniques, but overall this build is wonderful because it's so simple to use, you only have 3 skills and everything else is automatic, charges and everything, you don't need to worry about that, just damage. Alright, so we're gonna start with the skills gems that we have and then I'll explain everything. If it's related with some gear or passive tree, I will talk about everything. So we start with the easiest thing. In this build we use Blink. Blink will help you a lot clearing all those maps. I know some Invoker modes use Flicker Strike and that's pretty quick to clear the maps, but sometimes if you don't have enough monsters in a map, Flicker Strike will not help you with that. Also because sometimes when you are finishing to clear the map, you notice there's a rare monster that you need to kill up in the map, there's no checkpoint, so Blink will help with that, will increase your clear speed and is very good to speed up all your farm. So on Blink we have Ingenuity, this one increases the cooldown recovery rate, we have Arcane Tempo to increase the cast speed, which it doesn't make a big difference, we already have cast time 0.7, so it'll be just a bit less, and we have 200% more stun threshold, so this one will prevent you to take some stuns. But we have a lot of invasion already, so that's pretty good. I have 78, so that's quite good at the moment. So talking about the main skill we're gonna use will be Ice Strike. This will be our main skill. It does insane damage and also does ice damage, which will increase the freeze threshold and you'll freeze your enemies quite quickly. Also because we have high damage with this build. We have attack speed with martial tempo, heft with maximum physical damage, concentrate effect will increase a lot your damage, we have primal armament and rage. This rage is pretty good, especially with Ice Strike, because with Ice Strike every time you attack your character will jump to the enemies, so with this you will be getting this rage, so every one rage will give you 1% more attack to a maximum of 30, so when you're fighting a pinnacle boss you will gain 30% more attack damage, which is a lot. Then we have Tempest Belt. This one will increase our damage a lot. I only need to use it on bosses and pinnacle bosses, basically everything else is just one shot, one click, one shot while clearing the maps, as you guys can see in the video. And we have Heavy Swing to increase our melee physical damage. We have Leash because fighting the pinnacle bosses, as you guys can see, we have cast on critical and this will spend a lot of mana. We have Close Combat that will deal 25% more attack damage to enemies within 1 meter from you. And we have Overabundance, this one will increase the limit to 1 so we can spam Tempest Belt much more often. And then we have Cast on Critical, this one will make your life easier because you just need some critical strike. So at the moment I did some changes, so I have less than before, I had 45 and at the moment I have, let's check here, Ice Strike, I have 41, I had 45, but 41 is working with Cast on Critical pretty well. So talking about the support gems, basically with Cast on Critical, every time you land a critical on an enemy, you will gain energy. And when this reaches 100% energy, it will activate everything that we have socked on this skill gem. So we have Eye of the Winter. For the Eye of the Winter, you really want to have the lowest level as possible. At the moment I have this +2 levels for spell skills, which is not great, but I really need this Stellar Amulet, but it's making my mana to last less time. So ideally you don't want those levels otherwise it will increase the amount of mana you spend. But we are using Eye of the Winter. This one is really good because will inflict critical weakness. So when we inflict critical weakness, we'll have more 10% of critical hit chance when it stacks up to 20. Then we have Sniper's Mark. This is wonderful. Again, not so good because of my forget about the levels from the global modifiers, that's awful. But try to get the minimum level as you can. You guys can see 7, alright? Because the lowest the level, less mana you will spend using your skills. But there are some things you can use to get some mana back, which I will explain. We have Voltane Mark. This one will increase the chance to shock an enemy. It's really good when you shock the enemy, especially Pinnacle bosses, because it will give you more 20% more damage, which is amazing. Sniper's Mark, since we have the Resonance, will convert Frenzy charges to power charges. So basically, the way to get charges with this build, it's pretty easy. You just need to do a couple of melee attacks on the boss, and eventually you get these marks. Sometimes it's pretty quickly. I do the first 5-6 attacks and I get 3, 4, 5 charges, and from there it's pretty easy. You just need to land your Tempest Belt, activate the charge stuff, and that's it. Basically the boss will be dead. Then we have Perfusion, just to increase the additional charges we get from Sniper's Mark. And I've been testing the inspiration on this, because this support champ says that cannot support skills which reserve spirit. Alright, this skill reserves spirit, but I'm not directly using this skill, I'm using these ones. So I've been testing this and I think it's kinda working. It's reducing the amount of mana I spend from these skills. Also because now it's +2 levels and I'm not feeling like I'm using that much mana. But if you think it's not worth it, then you can just remove this one and use Impetus, alright? Impetus will improve the energy you get from this. So let me just get that Impetus to show you. So you can use this one that will increase the energy gain by 40%, okay? This can be good and can be bad, because if you land a lot of criticals, your mana will be gone in a second, alright? But the good thing is, if the boss is dead in 1 second as well, then why do you need more mana, right? So basically, cast on critical works like this. You just need to do criticals and activate these skills, and they will help you to increase your damage a lot. Then we have Charge Stuff. With Charge Stuff, we have Stripped Away, that will increase the exposure. So the more exposure we have, the easier will be to freeze the enemy or shock an enemy, which is wonderful. Freezing the enemy will give us charges because we are using Combat Frenzy, and shocking the enemy will give us 20% more damage, and because of that we have lightning exposure as well on shocking an enemy. Then we have the Cursing Current. This one will increase 50% chance to shock the other enemies. This will be really good while clearing maps, because if you shock the other enemies, we'll activate the Herald of Thunder much more often and will clear everything. As you guys can watch from the videos I recorded using this build, especially doing Breach, it clears everything on the way with just one click. It's amazing. Then we have Rising Tempest, that will give more elemental damage. Charge Staff works really well with elemental damage. So for each elemental skill you use recently, it will increase 12% more elemental damage. And we kinda use two different skills. We use this one, which is lightning, we use Ice Strike, which is ice, and we use Tempest Bell as well, so we will have a lot of increased damage with this. And then we have Overcharge, that will increase the magnitude of shocks with this skill, so we really want to shock all the enemies to activate the Herald of Thunder. Then we have the Grim Fist. This one is just to get some energy shields back while clearing the maps. It's really good because you will have tons of shields. I have almost 3,200 at the moment. So with this one you can reach the double of your shield, so I can reach 6,400, around something like that. And then we have Combat Frenzy, okay? For the Combat Frenzy, you want to use Combat Frenzy with Resonance, okay? With Resonance, because this will give you Frenzy charges every time you freeze, electrocute, or pin enemies. So with Ice Strike, we are freezing the enemies, and when you freeze them, it will give you charges. So that's pretty simple. Then for all the Herald of Ice, again, this one's work pretty good together, and with Ice Strike, it's basically one-shot everything. Most of the maps I just click once, I don't even spend any mana, I click once, they die, next pack of monsters, I click, they die, it's pretty forward. So on this one we have more area of effect, we have 25% as extra lightning damage, we have more chance to shock, and we have cold penetrate, cold resistance. So I've Innervate here, and if you guys wondering why do I have Innervate in Herald of Ice, which is ice, because we have extra lightning damage and we have more chance to shock. And according with this one, every time we kill a shocked enemy, it will give me 35% more damage as lightning. So we are shocking our enemies with this skill, so every time Herald of Ice is activated, will give you lightning damage. So the opposite will happen on the Herald of Thunder. This one, every time you shock an enemy, you will get this buff and will land lightning bolts on the shocked enemies. So this one, we have 25% more damage as extra cold damage, we have more freeze build up, we have more attack damage to enemies further than 7 meters from you, because you can reach the enemies far away from you with charged stuff, will shock them and activate the long shot that will do more damage to those enemies far away from you. Then we have Ambush that will increase the critical hit chance against enemies that are full life, because although their enemies far from you will be full life, and this way you will have more critical hit chance. And with this one we have Ice Bite. So every time we freeze the enemy with supported skills, which this does, because we have 25% more damage as extra cold and we have freeze build up, so this will be the skill that will be activated with shock, but will freeze the enemies. Alright, so every time we activate Herald of Thunder, we will get damage as cold damage. So this one is Herald of Ice, but will shock the enemies, activate Innervate. This one will freeze the enemies and activate the Ice Bite, and both will be activated at the same time. As you guys will see from the videos I recorded, not all the time both are activated, but it happens a lot of times while clearing all these maps. Then this is the setup for clearing all the maps. It's really fast. When you're doing a Pinnacle boss, it's pretty easy, there's not much work you need to do. When fighting a Pinnacle boss, we want to make it easier, and as I said, we spend a lot of mana, and that's why we have Soul Thief on Tempest Belt. So we want to improve that mana gain. So we can remove Grim Fist, we don't need it on the Pinnacle boss, and we want to remove with Mana Remnants, okay? We slot these ones as well, that give you mana regeneration, and we don't want Blink fighting a Pinnacle boss, because this way we will not have the dodge all the time, because of the cooldown we have on Blink. So with Mana Remnants, we get, when we are doing critical hits to a shock target, we get Mana Remnants on the floor and will recover mana. And we have also the Mana Regeneration with Clarity and some increased recovery from Life Flasks. So this one will help a lot doing Pinnacle bosses, and this is the only thing you need to switch while fighting a Pinnacle boss. Then we just need to take it out, put this one back and activate Blink again, and you're ready to clear another map. That's easy as it is. So talking about the passive tree, this is my passive tree. We're gonna start from here. So all these ones is with the focus on critical strike and critical damage bonus. And we have some evasion rating here and energy shields, because we don't have any life, so energy shield will be pretty good. We have recovering energy shield with life flasks, some more evasion, this one is really important, so we need a lot of spirit for this build, and evasion as well helps with that, because with this point here on your ascendancy, you will gain 1 spirit for every 15 evasion rating, and that's why you need a chest with loads of evasion. I have one with 2581, which is a lot. And with this we get a lot of spirit, so having this one helps a lot as well, because you get 1 maximum energy shield per 12 evasion rating on equipped body armor. So the more evasion rating you have, more energy shield you will have, more spirit you will have as well. So since we are talking about the ascendancy, we have also this one that will increase the damage extra cold damage. This one has extra lightning damage, and more chance shocking enemies to create that shock the ground. And also critical hits ignore non-negative enemy monsters' elemental resistances because we have a lot of critical strike. So on this one, these ones are really important. They will give you a lot of critical strike, critical damage bonus, and some more damage as well. So when you deal a critical hit, the damage is increased. This one pretty good as well, will increase your attack speed, reduce the cost of skills, and we have some more energy shield and evasion rating on these ones. And then we have this jewel, which is very good for this build, especially if you already have the End of Wisdom. If not, this is one of the strongest points of this build, having the End of Wisdom. So with this one, with the End of the Wisdom, it will increase your lightning damage to attacks per 10 intelligence and attack speed per 5 dexterity, okay? So this node, this one here, will give you 4 increased dexterity per notable passive skills in radius. So we have this one that will give me increased dexterity, this one, and now spaghettification, which is allocated in my amulet, alright? Then on this side we have Chaos Annihilation, that will give us immunity to chaos damage. We have some intelligence, maximum energy shield. And then for the emeralds, so I have 2 emeralds at the moment. I have 2 emeralds and 2 sapphires, okay? So for emeralds, you really want to look for some evasion rating, damage with quarterstaffs, critical damage bonus, attack speed, something like this. You can check my Mobalytics guide. I wrote everything there, so you guys, if there's something you're not sure while watching this video, you can check on Mobalytics, because I wrote everything down explaining all the attributes that you need to prioritize. Then on emeralds, you really want to look for maximum energy shield, critical hit chance, critical damage bonus, recover percentage of mana on kill. Triggered spells kinda works well with this as well, because we trigger some spells. And that's basically it. Then we have this one to increase our power charges, this one for more attack damage, and then another emerald with maximum energy shield, critical hit chance, recover mana on kill. We have that cold damage, which helps a little bit with the damage, and chaos damage, well, why not? But it's not one of the best stats that you really need. Then for this one, we have this side here, that will count our quarterstaff as extra power charge, which will increase the damage of our charged staff, and some attack speed on these two. Then on this side we have this one that will increase the damage from our heralds, so we have cold and lightning, so it's more 50% from each, and these ones which are more critical hit strike and critical damage bonus. And then this jewel will help a lot creating this build. This is a controlled metamorphosis diamond, and for this build you need a large ring, okay? This is a large ring. If it's a very large or a medium or small, will not get these ones in radius, okay? We really want to get these ones because it's what we're looking for, and this way we don't need to connect all these nodes here, and we can spend those nodes elsewhere. So on this one we want the Falcon technique that will increase our attack speed per 15 dexterity. We have one proficiency that will give us some more dexterity, and 100% increased evasion rating from equipped body armor. And since we got this one in radius, it gives us more 50% more damage. And then we are using these ones as well that will increase a lot our melee damage and strike range, okay? These ones are pretty good to increase our damage. And at the moment that's basically it. Eventually when I get the next level I will allocate one module here to increase more our damage. Probably will get a sapphire. Eventually I want to switch all of them to sapphires and maybe keep this one just for the invasion rating, because this one is pretty good, has really good stats. And regarding the passive tree, that's basically it. That's all you need to know, alright? Then we have the gear, okay? So as you guys can see, I have a lot of dexterity and intelligence because of this End of Wisdom. So the more attributes you can get, the more attack speed you'll have, the more damage with lightning attacks you'll have as well. So having a lot of attributes with this build, it's really good. Alright, so on this build we start with the quarterstaff. You really want to look for one with physical damage. Lightning damage, cold damage or physical damage are all good, but we really want the physical damage and elemental damage critical damage bonus is amazing, and some attributes will help to increase your damage. Then on the rings, look for some physical damage or physical damage especially, and then if you can get some lightning damage or cold damage, helps a lot to increase your damage. So what I did with my rings, basically, I looked for a topaz ring and a sapphire ring, because they already have lightning resistance on it. So with this, I got lightning resistance here, and lightning resistance here, and lightning damage to attacks. So when I increase the quality, I can increase the quality of these 3 stats. So I'll have tons of lightning resistance. I have a lot, guys. I have 93 at the moment, only from this ring. I don't have lightning resistance elsewhere. So the higher utility belt you can get, the higher will be the resistance you can get from this. Then we have some attributes, increased rarity. If you are just starting this build, don't look for this at the beginning, leave it for the end game. And leash of physical attack damage as mana. This is one of the other tricks you want to look for to increase your mana regeneration while fighting a Pinnacle boss. This will increase the damage as mana, will give you some mana back, and since we are using the utility belt, will increase 75% of this. I just got this belt from yesterday. I had one with 60%, and now I crafted this one. So it was uncorrupted. I used some divine orbs. To be honest, I spent 3 divine orbs on it. I reached 73, I corrupted and increased to 75. Really happy with this one, don't think I'll change it anytime soon. So, as I was saying, for the other one we have a sapphire ring that will give us the lot of cold resistance, and on this one we have cold damage. I bought a new one, which was this one, that gives cold damage with attacks, but when I corrupted this one, it gave me 22% more increased damage, so now this ring is better than this one. And if you guys wondering why I have these 2 rings here, basically because this one has 45% increased rarity, this one has 39%. So while I'm clearing maps, I use these 2 rings just to increase my rarity. When I'm fighting a Pinnacle boss, I switch to these ones, which give me more damage and more attributes, and especially the leash helps a lot to get some mana back while I'm fighting the boss. Then, talking about the helmet, you want to look for one with energy shield, because we don't have any life, so the more energy shield we can get, better will be. Some attributes are really good, and then I try to complement with fire resistance, because I only have lightning here, cold resistance here, and my fire resistance is coming from the helmet, boots, shoes, and from body armor. That's basically it. So I have fire resistance on his 3, and then lightning here, and cold here. That's it. So, as I was saying, next we talk about the amulet. If you get a stellar amulet, these ones are the most expensive ones, but they are the better ones for this build. If you already have the Wand of Wisdoms, a stellar amulet giving you more attributes will increase your damage a lot, because it will give you more dexterity, more intelligence, and will increase your attack speed, lightning damage, so will be really great. And if you allocate with spaghettification, will increase even more your attributes, because this one increases the attributes, chaos damage we don't really need, but helps to increase a little bit our damage, and the movement speed. And since we have the node here, we get that 4% increased dexterity from this jewel. So, Stellar Amulet, really good. This one was around 1 divine. At the moment, I think this build should be around 50 divines, 50, around something like that. We'll do the math after talking about the gear. Then we have the utility belt. This one I crafted, so not gonna say it was expensive because it dropped and I spent 3 divines and 1 valor orb on it. But if you want to get one like this, I think will be like 23 divines, something around that. Then we have the End of the Wisdom. These ones dropped as well, and I corrupted and I got 1 extra slot. These ones you really need for this build, will increase your damage a lot. You can start with the rare ones, but as soon as you get these ones, your damage will be much better. Then we have our shoes. These ones, you want some evasion plus energy shield, and complement your resistances. These ones, don't try the one with full energy shield. I tried it, it doesn't give much more shield, gives you more like 100, and you lose evasion. We don't really want that. This one with evasion energy shield is working pretty well. Then we have the utility belt, and we have the Maelstrom. This one, you don't really need it. If you need it, will be around 7 to 8 divines. Probably it's cheaper now. When I bought it, it was like 7 divines, but you don't really need it for this build. I bought it because, I mean, I'm immune to case damage. This one will give some extra case damage, so will help with everything. And then I'm using this charm, so I'm not using freeze. This one will increase the rarity, they increase the rarity of items found when you kill a rare or unique enemy. So I use this one most of the time. Sometimes I get freezed, as you guys can see in this video, and then just spam potions. I still have a lot of shield, and if I'm using with the Grim Fist, gives me a lot of shield, and I can still survive. And I prefer to risk my life with my character using this charm rather than using a different one. But if you want to be on the safe side, you can use the one that helps with your freeze, which is this one. That will give you immunity to freeze, and you will be much safer using this. And that's basically the gear. You really want some leash. Don't forget the leash. The leash is really important because you will be spending a lot of mana, especially when you reach the +4 difficulty, which I'm doing breach. I've been doing breach a lot, dropping a lot of these jewels, which I showed to you. They drop there, these ones. These ones here. These jewels drop on him, on the breach boss, and I've been doing this a lot on +4 difficulty. It takes a little bit more because this guy is +4 difficulty. It's the last one, is stronger, has more life, more defenses, etc. But with this build, I can kill him quite fast and don't need to worry about dodging much skills. Probably you will be able to cast one skill. If you not reach +4 difficulty on any of these bosses, then don't worry because you will be one-shotting everything. While doing the citadels, it will be one-shot. I did a lot of citadels today, a lot, I mean I did 3, and as you guys can see, I just went there, bam bam bam, one-shot, and that was it. Most of the bosses will be one-shot. If you are doing +4 difficulty, it will take just 1 more or 2-3 seconds, and you'll spend a little bit more of mana, and that's why it's important to talk about the mana remnants. Okay, mana remnants will complement that and will give you some extra, some more extra mana, which is very welcome with this build. And since it works with critical hits or on shock targets, it's perfect. All right. So if you guys want to check my build, I will be posting. I'll leave the links below, and I'll be posting on Maxroll and on Mobalytics, so you guys can have a look. If you have any questions about the build, what you need, I can comment below, and I will answer to you as soon as possible. And the last thing I want to talk about, I was almost forgetting, is how much is this build. So probably want stuff like this one I crafted as well, that's why it's not corrupted. I don't want to mess with this stuff. Corruption can go really bad. So this one will be around 3 divines, I think. The rings, I bought them. These ones I bought them, it's around 1 divine, 2 maximum, but 1 divine, 1 divine, 1 divine, 1 to 2, maybe 3 divines this one. So let's say 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then this one I crafted, but let's say you get these for less than 1 divine, like 150 exalted. So these ones, 1 to 2 divines, and the belt of course very expensive, but let's make the math. It's, let's say 23 divines and this one 7 divines. So we have 23, 24, 25, 28, 29, 30, 31, 34, 35. I mean, even with the Maelstrom will be 42, 43, it's less than 50 divines. And if you just reach the end game, you are already clearing some maps. I'm pretty sure you already have a few divines. And if you are starting getting some rarity at the moment with this, and that's why I have those rings. With this, since I'm already doing much damage, I have 159, alright? But every time I'm clearing maps, I switch my rings with these ones, and I get 221, alright? So I only use these rings when I'm doing a Pinnacle boss, because I don't want to risk my life against a Pinnacle boss. I prefer to lower my rarity and kill that boss rather than dying, and also because I need the leash. Leash from mana helps a lot to keep my mana healthy, and will give me some attributes as well and some more damage. As you guys can see, with these rings I have 214, with these ones I have 175, which is a big difference. Alright guys, I think I talked about everything. I hope everything was very well explained. If not, comment below, because I really want to improve on each video and bring better quality. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, comment below. And the last thing guys, just don't forget, leave that like, subscribe to my channel to follow more content about Path of Exile 2. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see ya next time.
Fate is on my side.
We that dreamed, we in nightmare, we that are one. She stolen cruelty. We that fail.